Thank you for trusting Valleywide with your upcoming project. We want you to be prepared for what is to be expected. When you get your project start date, be a good neighbor. Give your neighbors a heads up that there will be some noise and equipment parked on the street for a few days. If your HOA or city requires any approvals or permits, it is your responsibility to obtain them. Valleywide will contact Colorado 811 to mark public utility lines like phone, electricity, and gas. If your fence layout interferes with these lines, we may need to change the fence design. If you choose to keep the same layout despite our recommendations, you will be liable for any damage that occurs. Colorado 811 does not know where any private utility lines are on your property. You will need to mark any privately installed electric, gas, or water lines leading to storage buildings, garages, swimming pools, and so on. You are also responsible for marking your property boundaries. If you aren't sure where your property ends, hire a professional surveyor to mark the corners before we arrive. Make sure you discuss property boundaries with your neighbors. It's much easier to talk about your property lines before we start digging. Here are a few things to keep in mind during the project. We'll need access to hose water and a 110-volt outlet. Please have those accessible for the foreman. It's a lot easier for the crew to do their job when there aren't any pets, children, or neighbors to watch out for. Your project will be completed in 2 phases. During the crew's first visit, they will be digging holes and setting posts. In order to allow time for your posts to properly set, the crew will return at a later date for a second visit to finish the installation. Sprinklers need to be turned off 24 to 48 hours before we arrive. We may need to remove sprinkler heads if they are near your post holes. You should plan on moving and adjusting your sprinkler heads when we're done. Your grass might get flattened a bit while the crew is working. Our installation crews clean up after themselves, and your lawn should have no problem recovering from the project. Hauling dirt away is not included, but the crew is happy to place it somewhere in your yard. Keep in mind it isn't topsoil. Expect rocks, concrete, and sod with the dirt. 2 fence posts can fill an entire wheelbarrow, so plan on a lot of dirt and debris. We can, however, haul away your dirt for an additional fee. There may be gaps under your fence. This is due to the grade or slope of your yard. Plan ahead. You may want to fill those gaps by making some landscape changes, such as bringing in topsoil or adding a mow strip. We try to be as accurate as possible with our footage estimate, but it is still an estimate, and totals are based on actual fence footage installed. So there may be some variation between the estimate and the final balance. Please be sure to review the contract and ask your sales rep any questions you may have. Thanks for choosing Valleywide. We look forward to working with you.